role?
Sure. So, Kristen Holder, I am the executive director at Central 6 AlabamaWorks. And what I'm really excited about with this role is I was actually at Central 6 back about 3 or 4 years ago, and I was the industry cluster coordinator. So I did a lot of coordination of employers, and then had the opportunity to go to the Alabama Office of Apprenticeship, and then came back as the executive director. So it really was like this very cool homecoming for me, like getting to do the work that I did in workforce development for when I was a coordinator to now getting to move into a position of leadership, getting to run multiple organizations, getting to lead an incredible staff. So the transition was just this really cool opportunity to decide, you know what, this is the place I loved, this is the group and the work I loved, and now I get to come and lead.
Cool. I think that's awesome. Anytime you get the opportunity to lead and really take that leadership role seriously, I feel like it trickles down as your team continues to grow and they touch more people.
Yeah.
It trickles down onto your target audience and the people that you want to reach. So that's amazing. Thank you for being a trailblazer. So what are you most proud of that you've been able to experience in your role as executive director?
That's such a good question. You know what? I think I'm going to talk specifically to the project that we've been doing with tech. So one of the things I'm most proud of for the work that we're doing is getting to develop a space for our young adults, especially young people of color, in the tech scene with our Tech Connect mixers. And so one of the things that I get to do is work closely with Tech Birmingham and my team in Birmingham Business Alliance to figure out a way that, all right, we understand that the tech scene is predominantly white, predominantly male. And so how do we make sure that we have access and give so many of our young people of color access to these incredible jobs since they have such incredible talent? And so over the past couple of years, we've had this opportunity to really work closely with some young adults and some employers to determine what are the actual barriers to entry as to why they're not getting the opportunities. And one of the biggest things that they said was, there's just not a spot for us. There's just not a place that makes sense for us to be here. And learning that and understanding that better and hearing it from them directly just gave this really beautiful opportunity to go, you know what, let's do something different. Let's create something that has a different feel, a different vibe that invites individuals who have incredible amounts of talent and drive into a space that they have historically not been involved in. And so I think that event, serving over about 200 people in the past two times of it, has been amazing. It's also one of the things I'm really proud of is building this team from a team of 2 to a team of 11. That's another big piece of pride in the sense of getting to really invest in a lot of people's lives in a really quick period of time.
That's an amazing accomplishment. From a team of 2 to a team of 11.
Yeah, in 18 months.
Wow.
So it was quick. It was quick. It's a lot of great people doing great work. So I'm glad to get to be the leader.
Cool. So what are you most proud about during your time as executive director?
Awesome. Thanks. Great question. So I think there's 2 things. One, I have gotten the opportunity to lead a team that was at 2 people to 11 in like 18 months, which is wild. So our organization, for those that are not aware, we also partner with the Good Jobs Grant with the City of Birmingham that is serving our individuals in healthcare roles to train 1,200 and to place 1,000 into quality healthcare roles in the region. And so that has meant our team has expanded exponentially. And so one thing I'm really proud of is the opportunity to bring all those opportunities to people in our community to be able to lead and learn and train along my team has been incredible. And then the other thing that I'd say, if it comes to like programmatically, it's the work that we're doing with Tech Birmingham and Birmingham Tech Council around how do we provide opportunities and doors open for individuals, young people in the community, especially young people of color, into the tech space. So you might have seen on different media that we have the Tech Connect event that we've been doing as a collective here in Birmingham. And it's really focused on how do you create an opportunity and a space for young people that is by young people and for young people. And so over the past couple of years, we've been working really closely with our employers and our young adults to say, hey, in the tech community, what are you looking for? We know that this is predominantly white and male space. How do we help open the doors for all the diverse talent that we have? And there was this comment that kept coming up around, I don't really have a space. I don't really have an opportunity. I don't have the social capital to get that job. And we said, what if we did something a little different and created a networking opportunity that was focused on the young adult and not just on the employer? And so we've served over 200 individuals over the past couple of mixers, and it's this cool opportunity for young people to get to meet directly with employers, and we're seeing people get hired, which is incredible. So I think getting to be a part of the impetus of that I know will go on forever, for years to come.
Yes, and I would like to say thank you so much for putting those connects together. I was at the last one that they did, and it was the atmosphere and the environment, the diversity, and just being able to directly connect with talent if you're an employer, and directly connect with employers if you are looking for a job in tech.
Yeah.
And also the LinkedIn training that you all had, it was very thought out. It was a great chance to meet with some amazing people. So if you're in the tech industry, when will you all be having your next event?
That's a fantastic question. So we are planning on doing it sometime in the fall. And so shout out to Jared Stisher. I always have to put him in there. He's the one that really led this event, and my colleagues Anna, Maggie, Kayla, and Tati. I know Jared is really excited, and we've gotten such great feedback from it. And so look to us the next couple months. We'll have some information out. But honestly, right now, if you're a young adult, the next thing to do is get into that Next in Tech for SLOSS Tech. So there are SLOSS Tech tickets that are free if you apply, if you're considered a young adult or entry into tech. And so I would recommend you go to the SLOSS Tech website and apply to get you guys a free spot. And then hang out with us after that at the Tech Connect in the fall.
Okay, cool. So make sure that you take them up on that information, follow them on LinkedIn, and go ahead and get connected, get started. Okay? Were there any early challenges or obstacles that you had to overcome in such a male-dominated industry?
Yeah, I think really, like, I have the privilege of working with a really diverse group of people with a lot of diverse ideas. And I think for what I had, the struggle was honestly building awareness of these opportunities that are available to our young adults and to our women in our industry. And so I think one of the things when I came on board to the space, part of it's just what networks do you have? And so I had quite a few networks in different employer spaces, but not all of them. And it is a little different to come into a tech space, even as a kind of third-party support role that we play, when we don't look like everybody that's there. And so I would say that mostly the struggle was just getting into the room at the time. But after we've been able to get in the room and getting employers really engaged, that struggle has subsided as much, because I think there's a real excitement and an understanding that the day and age is now to be able to hire and train and promote folks that have historically not been in the career. So struggle is like get in the door. And then when we get in the door, people are a lot more open to the opportunities than people might think.
So it starts with getting in the door, and this is a great opportunity for you all to do that. Okay, so how do you see tech and innovation playing a role in the way professionals pursue and advance in their career?
There was a period of time where you had the tech industry and you had the manufacturing industry and the healthcare. And we still talk about it like that, but some of my colleagues make the point that tech is everywhere. Like it is, we're not just in one industry anymore. And so honestly, in the professional setting, in the ecosystem we have in innovation, tech is that driving force that I think brings all of those different industries and experiences together. We understand that there's a lot of new emerging technologies that are going to impact our way of working and impacting our way of interacting with the world. And I really think that those skill sets that we need being literate in technology. So we talk about financial literacy a lot, we talk about literacy a lot, but being tech literate is going to be so mission critical in things such as LinkedIn prep that we did for Tech Connect, or AI or websites or emails. All these kind of basic skills are going to continue to be so mission critical moving forward, no matter what industry you're in.
Okay, I can definitely see that for sure, especially with the LinkedIn skills, because really LinkedIn is where it's at.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get a job in tech, if you're an employer, especially if you're offering B2B services,
yeah,
you need to be on LinkedIn.
You do. You need to be on LinkedIn, and make sure your LinkedIn is up to date, because that's something everyone looks at first. And we're all at fault for it in a lot of ways. You're like, did I put my new role? And you're like, it's been a year. So just make sure that you're always checking up, always promote yourself. If you've got a great award or whatever, utilize it. Utilize all of that LinkedIn, because it's basically free publicity for you and the worker and the community activist that you are.
Definitely. So what leadership qualities have helped you to excel in your role, and what advice do you have for others that may be pursuing leadership in tech?
So much of what we do in technology as well is human focused. So I feel like one of the strengths that I bring to leadership in my office, in the community, in the tech space, is being relatable and empathetic, understanding that the experiences around me are not necessarily my experiences, but opening myself up to the ability to better understand, to not assume, to listen, to absorb, and to realize that it is a blessing and a privilege that I get to learn other people's stories. And I think going into every single situation with that kind of humbleness and that understanding that everyone's coming from a different perspective, and really holding that space as holy in some ways of just how all those pieces come together. And I think that would be my advice to a lot of folks in this space too. We know technology is going to continue to grow, advance, be a part of our lives. That human-centric piece, those soft skills, employability skills of being able to connect with other human beings is going to be so important in this space, because that's going to be something that is super unique to the work that we do. So I would say really focusing on how do you empathize with the people around you, not just numbers on a page, not just clients in a certain way, but actual human beings, because that connection is what really leads to innovation and change.
Right. I agree. And I think that you're doing a great job. Everyone that I have met with Central 6 has been a pleasure to meet. And I do want to ask, and I know this wasn't on the paper, but how did Central 6 and Tech Birmingham come together for the BTC initiative?
I love it. Shout out seriously to Tech Birmingham. Love them. So the quick story is that there was an opportunity that happened for a national grant to come down and say, hey, we're really interested in local communities who have a really cool tech scene and working with them to make sure we can develop those pipelines for young people and young people of color. Tech Birmingham was a perfect fit to be a partner in that. And so we'd already partnered unofficially in different capacities throughout the years, but this was a cool way to say, you know what? You have the employers and the engagement. We have the know-how when it comes to this model of bringing together these grantors and developing these pathways. What if we partner together? And so we started back in 2022 is when that formal partnership started. We're in our 4th year of our grant process with Generation Work. And so it really is, what we say all the time is like, people don't know that we're two different teams. Like I've had some folks, literally employers that worked with me for 2 years, I go, we're on the Tech Birmingham team. I'm like, no, but thank you. And the other way around. And so I think there's this clear combination because Dion's team has this drive, this innovation, this like interest in what they do. Jared and Anna are just killing it. And to have that kind of energy in this tech space to do this work is so important. We'll talk about the time. It's like the Jared Stisher effect. I'm giving him a lot of shout outs, but he'll come into a room and everybody wants to be where he is. And so he comes to the next spot and we're just grateful to get to be a part of the ride. It's been really cool and I can't wait for us to continue in partnership.
That's amazing. It's amazing to watch and just have the opportunity to be a part of. So make sure that you stay in the room and get connected, okay? Cool. So the next thing that I'm going to ask is, what projects or initiatives at Central 6 are you most excited about?
So Central 6 just is like a quick thing. So we're a workforce intermediary. What that means is that we connect a lot of different workforce systems. So working with our employers, training providers, our young adults, our K-12. And so we have different things in different realms. So we've been working and we're talking about tech. One of the things I'm really also excited about is we're working with JP Chase Foundation on a grant to specifically focus for people of color and women in the manufacturing space. So that's the impetus of what was the Generation Work grant that has been happening for the past couple of years. So really excited to get some employers engaged in that. And we know that manufacturing is just as heavy as in tech as the tech industry is. So getting to glean the lessons learned and the things that we've done over the past couple of years in the tech space and getting to move that into manufacturing, and especially helping women getting the jobs that have absolutely historically not been available to them. So that's the start. We just started that a couple months ago, and so looking forward to both that and with Generation Work with our next Tech Council meeting. We're also very involved in the Good Jobs grant, so one thing I am also really excited about is us continuing to hire folks and get people placed in these healthcare jobs. Shout out, June 10th is our job fair for good jobs at the Boutwell Auditorium from 11:30 to 1 if you're a healthcare employer or if you're an individual interested in healthcare. We'd love for you to come out. There'll be some great employers out there. I'm just going to use this to plug everything that I know. But June 10th, come out there. There's a registration link on our website, central6.org or goodjobsbham.org. So those are a couple of things. We've got some really exciting opportunities to connect people to good opportunities.
Okay. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you shared that because shameless plug, I have some clients that are in the healthcare space.
Okay.
And I would love to connect them with you all.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I'll definitely let them know.
I would love that.
Yeah, we got to help spread the word.
Gotta help.
How important is teamwork and collaboration in achieving success? Just success in general, not even initially in the tech industry, just success.
Again, it's like the phrase everything. In this space, especially considering there's so many players at B in this industry, in this region, in this community, and so many people are doing such great work. The last thing we want to do is to be siloed, is to be doing great work over here, great work over there, but never talking to each other. We just sometimes end up spinning our wheels or reinventing the wheel if we could have worked together. And so the collaboration is so critical to making sure that we're doing good work and we're expanding exponentially that impact by doing it together. When we do it separately, we have impact, but there's a scalability of that collaboration. And I think that teamwork really comes into play of respecting each other's strengths as they bring them to the team, learning from each other, because I know for sure any of the projects that we work on, I would not be able to do on my own, hard stop. And also as an organization is purely built on partnerships with other folks. And so it's not that Central 6 can do it on their own, but we absolutely can bring together partners to make sure it can get done well. And I'll say one last thing. It's one thing I talk a lot about in my role is the power of the collaborative. So that means when you get more voices into one room doing one thing, you have a much better shot of moving that needle, whether that's voices of employers, young people, training providers, your friends, your family. So that power of the collaborative is how we really look at our mission of moving people into good jobs and helping employers fill their roles.
Cool, and I can definitely relate to that. Just seeing the collaboration like we talked about with you all in Tech Birmingham, it's been a great experience to just watch and see what they're doing. So definitely stay connected. Teamwork and collaboration makes the dream work.
It does, for sure.
Partnerships, all of that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about Central 6 AlabamaWorks or your own personal journey?
Oh, I think what I just share about Central 6 is if you are any industry interested in workforce, we also understand that workforce is one of the largest issues that all of our employers are facing in this region, in this nation. And also joblessness is something that a lot of our folks are also suffering with, whether they don't have access to training or capital. And so what I would say is please communicate with us, central6.org. We have opportunities to plug you in with other employer collaboratives of folks that are working together to drive change on the employer side. We have access to different wraparound services or resources to point you in the right direction if you need additional resume assistance, things of that sort. And also, if you're interested in seeing what's going on in the workforce session as a whole, this is something that's really incredibly important to the region and the economy. And so we recommend you follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We're on all the things, and on LinkedIn, and just be watching for what comes next. Like I said, we've got a job fair on June 10th. I'm working on something around manufacturing. We'll have tech meetings in the end of the year. You're coming to SLOS Tech. If you're really interested in getting yourself a job, let's help you get it. And if you're looking for people, let's help you get them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of your resources.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, anytime. And make sure that you take advantage of the things that she mentioned. Visit the website with central6.org.
And it's 6 spelled out, S-I-X.
Cool. So make sure that you take advantage of these resources that she's working so hard to push out into the community along with her amazing team. And until next time, business minds, positive vibes, love what you do it with love. Bye.
Bye.